Hello everyone. This is going to be a video talking about why I feel most, and probably all at this point, maybe not all, but most self-proclaimed internet life coaches are horrible people morally, ethically, and how I feel that they're taking advantage of people. They're very disingenuous, and I want to state my facts of why that is. First thing is they charge massive amounts of money for basic human decency, and they do not have the qualifications or credentials to back up what they do, so they're not qualified, and they're charging probably thousands of dollars, hundreds and hundreds of dollars that most people in this day and age can't afford, which is inconsiderate at best. A therapist, a psychiatrist, people who teach workout routines in an actual gym or in a wellness clinic, those people have credentials and classes, whether online or in person, that they took to have those qualifications. So those people don't just have personal experiences in their own lives, but they're qualified to do what they do. Self-proclaimed internet life coaches don't have that. And it's been proven, not all the time, but a lot of times, they can be quite dangerous people in certain ways. And you don't know what's going on in their personal lives. The other thing with them is they only engage with people if people give them money. There's a problem with that. If someone is like a self-proclaimed whatever they are, and they say, oh, if you pay me thousands of dollars for basic human decency, I'm going to help you out. That's pretty messed up, because genuine basic human decency, whether that is just basic advice or basic help, that shouldn't cost thousands of dollars. A basic phone call, that shouldn't cost thousands of dollars. That's just ignorance at that point. Like, if someone genuinely wants to help you, if someone genuinely wants to be a good person and mean all the best, they wouldn't overcharge people, and they would not only gear to certain groups of people, for example, rich people. If they actually cared, and if they were doing this as a business, they would have options like scholarships and other options for people that might not be able to afford hundreds and thousands of dollars. They would have other options for other people as well. So that's another thing why I think they're horrible people. The third thing is most of them, if not all of them to some degree, only show a picture-perfect image. They show you online what they want you to see. So there's going to be a lot that you're not seeing in their personal lives that you have no idea about. They will show fancy cars, fancy clothes, whatever, this perfect image that they made money doing what they do and that they have the perfect life. Nobody has a perfect life, rich or poor. Absolutely no one. Nobody is perfect, not even them. I'm pretty sure that they have hardships in their life that they're not sharing with people to rook people in to give them the money. It's a scam, point blank. And it's disgusting, in my opinion. But regardless of my opinions, if somebody is only showing good things and not showing the whole picture, that's a red flag. That's a red flag to not trust that person. Another thing is a lot, if not all of them to some extent, act cocky, ignorant, selfish, and they have their head in the sand. And they act like snobs. And examples of snobby behavior is basically talking about yourself like you're the best person in the world and that you're infallible. Nobody is infallible. Nobody is the best person in the world. If not, everyone is value, everyone is equal, everyone should be treated with respect, and don't put a price on people, because a human life is priceless and is beautiful no matter what life that is. So when people act snobby and show signs of ignorance emotionally and towards certain groups of people, whether that would be people of certain gender, certain race, or religion, or even people that might not be at the financial standing that they are at. If you show ignorance to other people, that's not care. That's sheer self-entitlement. That is ignorance, and that isn't right. That's a red flag. So that's another red flag that is wrong, dead wrong. The other thing, and this is the last thing, is if self-proclaimed life coaches do not have options for people who are poor. And if someone actually cared and wanted to make money doing what they love doing, and if it was helping people and they genuinely wanted to help people, they would have at least some sort of scholarship program. Actual licensed therapists, a lot of them, not all of them, but a lot, that are worth your time, have options for poor people. Not all of them, but a lot of them do. You ever notice that none of the life coaches on the internet have any options like that? I wonder why. Because they're not qualified to do what they do. And they're milking people from their money. And they're selfish, entitled people who just want people to pay the massive amounts of money. They have big egos. They need to humble it down because nobody is that good. Nobody is that perfect. And nobody should be asking people to pay for basic human decency. It doesn't matter what status they have. They're not worth that much. Point blank. Someone's selfish and entitled. There isn't any worth in that. That's just not right. Because no one's perfect. No one should be taking advantage of people like that and scamming people. Because people who genuinely care, people who actually care, will help you with asking for nothing in return. If it's someone that this is their profession, they would have multiple options. They will be willing to work with you if they're a licensed professional. And if they're worth your time, they will be willing to figure out something if they can. And if they can't, they would find somebody who could. So, moral of the story is, do not trust any self-proclaimed life coaches, relationship coaches, exercise coaches on the internet that you see any of these signs. Anyone who is worth your time would not milk you of your money. would not ask for money for basic human decency and would genuinely care if you pay them or not. They would at least acknowledge you and engage and be respectful. They wouldn't act all selfish and snobby. They wouldn't have this big ego that they think they're the best person in the world and can't humble themselves. They would not show a picture-perfect image and not show what's truly going on in their lives. Because for all you know, they could be lying. You don't know. And they would have the qualifications to do what they do if they're charging that much money. Reputation is important. And moral compass is important too. And treating others fairly, equally, and respectfully, no matter who they are, is very important as well. I think this is something that's a problem on the internet. I think that more awareness and warnings should be put out. It's unfortunate that some people will find every way to just take people's money and scam them. It's sad because people do that are not worth their time. I'm going to clarify this exactly. It's perfectly valid. It's perfectly okay to make money doing a job you love doing. That is valid. I want people to go chase their dreams. However, there is a fine line between taking advantage of someone and milking people of their money to the point where they're being self-entitled, self-proclaimed, and not want to care about anyone who doesn't pay for their services. That's just wrong. That there's a difference between that and someone who, like me, for example, I have a freelance job, but I'm open to negotiation. I'm open to being fair with people and decent to everyone. Even if someone doesn't want me to teach a class and doesn't have the money to pay me to do so, I'm still going to talk to that person and be just as respectful and just as open and pleasant as I would be if someone were to hire me to teach a class on torture and execution throughout history. It's just, and if I genuinely want to help someone, I wouldn't ask for anything in return. Like, it's just human decency. So just a lesson here. Be careful online. There's a lot of people who are not good people morally, genuinely, and ethically. Look out for the red flags. Be careful. And the people who are truly worth your time and the people who actually will stand by you and that do care and stick around and want to help you, they wouldn't ask for anything in return. And they would try to help you even if they couldn't help you. They'd try to find a way. So just be careful and have a great day. Like, subscribe, leave a nice comment, and I hope you enjoy my content and videos. Have a great day and love yourselves. Bye.